Good morning. It's Thursday, August 15th, 2019. I'm Russell, and this is Rocky Road Devotions, a few minutes of help for today's journey. Our devotion today is entitled James the Just, Part 3, When the Just Trust. And our scripture is James chapter 1. If you need wisdom, ask our generous God, and he will give it to you. He will not rebuke you for asking, but when you ask him, be sure that your faith is in God alone. Do not waver, for a person with divided loyalty is as unsettled as a wave of the sea that's blown and tossed by the wind. Such people should not expect to receive anything from the Lord. Their loyalty is divided between God and the world, and they're unstable in everything they do. There's a certain abandoning of ourselves, putting aside our options when it comes to really trusting God. The Lord is pleased to give us wisdom and all the help we need. Did you know that God is not into making us guess? He wants us to have his wisdom. The King James Version says God won't upbraid you for wisdom. Literally translated from the language of the New Testament, that means God won't make fun at you when you ask. However, receiving that wisdom does come with a price. If we're going to have his wisdom, we have to trade in ours. That means setting aside our prerogatives and agenda and being obedient to him, because trusting God is all about Christian or Christ-like living. Proverbs 3, 5, and 6, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Do not depend on your own understanding. Seek his will in all you do, and he will show you which path to take. The personal cost of trading your wisdom for God's is total trust, and that's no small price. It's easy to trust in the Lord with all your heart when everything's going your way. But there are times when things come unglued and you want to fall back into a nice, safe, hidey place, all secure and safe and warm and comfy. Now, some of us even get that way before our world comes apart. For me, it's the limbo place of not knowing what's coming. I just hate not knowing. Just tell me it's the worst or the best. Just don't tell me to wait. Many of you are aware that the throat cancer I went through 2 summers ago qualified me for veterans benefits. It seems Agent Orange in Vietnam caught up with my vocal cords, and while I was going through 28 rounds of radiation, we started receiving a temporary benefit until they could categorize my status. Nearly a year went by, and then Uncle Sam called me in for that evaluation. I was nervous about the limbo of not knowing what they were going to say. Maybe it would be that since the radiation worked, I didn't need a pension. Or were they going to open Uncle Sam's arms and pocketbook, make my retirement plans a lot easier? This is the kind of thing about which I normally obsess. I go to sleep wondering, I wake up every hour worrying, and get up in the morning moody and distracted. Oh, and by the way, that's a really good thing for a pastor who's supposed to be an encourager to the flock to have faith. Cast all your cares on him. Take it to the cross and leave it there. Well, here's what happened. I confessed my unbelief to God. I gave it to the Lord with a promise that I would take a deep breath and allow him to take over my worries. The appointment with the VA happened, and the doctor told me that since this type of cancer, caught this early, rarely returns, my disability had disappeared. Now, I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer, but you don't have to be an interpreter for this one. No disability means no pension. Thank you for your service. You're on your own. Well, after the appointment, Elizabeth and I went to lunch at Panera Bread, and we thanked God for his kindness to us and how he's provided for us through the thick and thin of 5 decades of life together. Now, that doesn't sound like the success story that usually goes along with a sermon, except for the fact that success is not to be found in having a pension or not having a pension, easy retirement or pinching pennies. Success in this answered prayer was that I didn't think about the situation the rest of the afternoon and night. In fact, I didn't think about the pension or no pension thing until the next afternoon when I was trying to think deeply about what I'd tell the congregations I serve about trusting in the Lord. That's when it hit me square in my dull little mind that I had just lived what we all need to hear. I trusted him, and he overcame the biggest spiritual battle I ever have, my own lack of faith. He gave me faith to rest in his promises. So much better than any pension. For you today, let's let Apostle Paul have the final word today about trusting. Don't worry about anything. Instead, pray about everything. Tell God what you need and thank him for all he's done. Then you'll experience God's peace, which exceeds anything we can understand. His peace will guard your hearts and minds as you live in Christ Jesus. You chew on that as you hit the rocky road. Have a blessed day.